Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. My name is Etienne Jared Looc from BSTM1D. So for today, we're going to talk about communication flow and processes. So what is communication flow and processes? Well, it's the guide on how you can process or make a good conversation. So communication flow and processes have four parts. So the first one is sender. It's the person who generates the ideas that he wants to share. For example, I want to talk to a certain person, so I have to think of an idea to make a good conversation. So the next one is transmission. It's the channel or signal through which the encoded message is delivered. On transmission, this is the part where you have to deliver the idea that you're thinking about. For example, I want to talk to Mel John. Oy, pre, tapos ka na sa assignment? So on that, the message you're thinking of is now delivered. So the third part is receiver. So what is receiver? The recipient decodes back the signal and turning it back into a meaningful idea. So for the example earlier, I delivered the message to Mieljan, and now Mieljan is the receiver. So now he decodes the signal and he's thinking ways on how to turning it back to a meaningful idea. So the last part is feedback. Understanding and interpreting the message leads to a response and back to the sender. So the idea on this one is Meljan now have to think of an idea to send back to me. For example, Oy pre, wala pa eh. Tara gawa tayo. So now me and Meljan have a good conversation with the help of communication flow and processes. The definition is the communication refers to the transmission of a message from a sender to a receiver through a medium or channel where the message is encoded by the sender, decoded by the receiver, and the response is generated in the form of feedback. So, to put it together, the process of communication is the step-by-step method through which a message is created, sent, received, and understood between two or more people. It is not one-time event. It is a continuous, dynamic exchange that involves multiple stages of participants. So now we also have to know the principles of communication. First is principle of clarity. The thought or idea must be spelled out properly. Words should be arranged so that the receiver understands the exact meaning conveyed by the sender. Pronunciation and enunciation must be as clear as possible to avoid misconception. Next is principle of attention. Attention to detail is vital. Receivers should be drawn towards the message by paying close attention to the emotion, behavior, manners, and gestures. This holistic attention ensures that responses are appropriate and accurate. So the next is principle of feedback. Feedback is the ultimate signifier that communication was effective. Without it, the sender cannot be certain the message was received or understood. It is imperative to provide feedback once communication takes place. And next is principle of informality. The major distinction between formal and informal communication styles. Sometimes format methods do not yield desired results. Conveying a message informally can be highly efficient and equally valid in certain situations. Last is the part 3 of principles of communication. First is consistency. Consistency in the way one communicates always matters. It contributes significantly to the reputation of both parties and strengthens professional relationships. Next is timeliness. Communication must occur at an accurate time. If a receiver is not ready to accept or hear the message, it is simply not the right time to convey it. The last part is adequacy. Inadequate messages create profound confusion. Conversely, delivering an adequate and complete message builds strong rapport and mutual understanding. And that is all you have to know about communication flow and processes. You can now talk to someone, you can approach them. You just have to follow the 4 parts of communication flow and process. First, you need to course, you need to think of an idea, send it to them, send it to the receiver, and wait for their feedback and have a good conversation. And also for the principles of communication. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you, sir.